up in meetings from the US as well. So I'm so gutted that I missed it, but I'm going to watch out for the recording if there's going to be one.
Can you introduce yourself and just let me know what attracted you to the Mastermind?
So it's about winning communities. And I actually believe in that theme as well, because when you start creating your tribe, then you start functioning at a different level, but you also sort of share the same values and interests. So this doesn't come on business alone, but also in corporates. I'll give you an example. Whenever you build a tribe or a community, it's on the back of shared interests and values, right?
Yes.
And even from the point of even wanting to identify the best place to work in a corporate or an SME or a startup, it's all about community, because it's all founded on the back of interest and values. So I think it's a very key theme. I'd have been interested to watch it. I normally log on to your sessions anyway, so there's two things that interest me: the kind of content that you put out. Africa, I'm very pro-Africa, but also the whole essence of building a community, because I've just come off reading the book Tribes by Seth Godin as well.
Oh, yeah. So for me, there's actually an intersection. So when I talk about community in the context of business development, so I actually have 3 communities that I lead, right? One of it is faith-based, and it's free. It's a free membership. And the other 2 are paid for business. One is for international trade development. I teach and coaching there. And then the other is for first-time entrepreneur, and it's a leadership academy as well. So community for me is within the context of business development, particularly in the digital economy, is that there are 2 sides to, in a way, the transaction, right? There are people like myself that were offering services and what I call assets, digital, like, because all content are not equal. What people need to realize out there, and people need to educate themselves, like, all content is not equal. There are certain premium content that are transformative, right? So a lot of times, like, that's why we go to school. School is a content. They are loading your mind up with a new way of thinking, right? So the school system, the academic system, is a content economy. Many people don't know. Teachers come in here to teach you what they know, their experiences, you do practical, all of those things. So I've designed my platforms around that. So on one side is someone like myself, willing to teach, inspire, coach, connect. But the other side of the transaction, is desire. So I say passion sells, but desire is that in building community, other community members must also have a desire to be in that community, because you cannot make anybody commit to a community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That is where social media fails.
Oh, you think it feels that way?
The social media works only up to a point. Social media fails because there is based on several assumptions, and the assumptions on both sides. There's assumption like people like yourself that follow me that may be assuming that the best way, that the best of doing is on social media, and it's a wrong assumption.
Okay.
Did
you say that again, Toyin?
Okay.
They're assuming?
Okay. People are assuming. Let me remove myself from that conversation. People are assuming on social media that to experience the best influencers or thought leaders, that the thought leaders they follow on social, that they're experiencing the best of those leaders.
Absolutely.
But that's not true.
I agree.
Okay. But it's an assumption. So they will follow people for 2 years, follow them for 3 years. But what they don't know is that 2 weeks in a more intimate setting with that same leader will change your life more than following them for 3 years at a distance on social media. People don't know that. So that's why social media will help. So I'm not saying it helps up to a certain point, because I also consume content from leaders. But what I do that people don't know is that my growth, yes, social media helps it, but if all I invested in was social media, I wouldn't grow as fast as I do. I have other leaders, presidential advisors that I sit at their feet in private spaces, that I engage, just like you and I are engaging. This interaction is more meaningful to you and I than any other interaction we've ever had on social media.
That's true.
That's what people don't understand. Is
so
that
how we bridge that gap?
Well, the way I build a gap is I've built community. So let's go. That's why I'm saying, like, my concept of community is that I want to engage in deeper ways with my followers.
Okay. Yes.
But it's part of a business. So it's not free. So there's the faith-based one is free because it's part of a ministry. It's a ministry. So I'm engaging in that space intimately because it's a ministry side of my work. I'm engaging intimately for my business in other spaces that is paid.
I see what you mean. So if I was to join one of your community, I would have the privilege of having a one-on-one with the leaders, just like we're having right now, which is a lot more impactful. But obviously, because it's a business model, it's based on a business model, then we all benefit. Okay, so it's very similar to, have you had, it's a very good idea. I totally, and how are you going to choose the leaders?
So what I've done, which is now, okay, because I teach entrepreneurship, let me teach you what I do.
Okay.
So this is where marketing comes in business development. Marketing comes in when you're building a business. You need to inform, educate people about the transformation and your work. That's marketing. Yeah. What you're trying to sell, whether it's services or products, marketing is you trying different means to communicate. So social media is good for that. Beyond that, this is where there's a whole crazy world out there where people tell you more, create more content. I'm like,
I know, right?
You're falling for a trap. You are falling for a trap.
Yeah, I agree.
Both sides are falling for a trap.
I love it. I mean, I agree. I love it. I mean, there's a platform I'm building that's very similar for students. So I'm all for it, but I've never had the notion of like for business development. So I'd love to learn more about it. Yeah. It almost reminds me of this platform. I don't know whether you've heard about Vintro.
No.
Where it's for entrepreneurs, but it was started by a young lady in the States. And it's about giving you access to all these entrepreneurial leaders and investors at a fee, So people like James Caan, for example, the UK Dragon's Den, and the Sarah Cochran, is she called Cochran? Yeah, all those people who are, investors at a fee. So it's almost a similar thing that you're saying, but for you, we will get a lot more value because it's a one-on-one.
So this is what people without experience. So this world that we are talking, you and I are discussing right now, it has always existed and it still exists. And many people are excluded from that world. So for example, what we're talking about is what defines golf clubs, yacht clubs, chambers of commerce. You get into those networks at a free.
Absolutely. You're so right. And at a high fee.
And here's what I teach as well. The higher the value of that network, the higher the price. Because everybody there, it's a gated community.
Someone is trying to call me, so it keeps cutting. Sorry, say that last point. The higher the value of the network?
The higher the value inside that network, the higher the entrance fee. And social media is zero fee. So you are going to get everybody that has a cell phone has access to social media. So it's up to you to do the filtering of the types of people that is aligned to your own mindset. Those networks have done the filtering for you because everybody paid to be in there.
See. I love it. No, tell me more. Tell me something. I'd love to know more about
I'm just sharing. This is why this is a mastermind, is that a lot of times you're seeing what people are doing out there, like myself, but you don't understand the strategy behind my work. In fact, the newsletter I'm sending out today is around strategy. People don't understand that if you're not strategic, you are running a rat race and you will be exploited by platforms. Your time, you will waste your time, because you are running on assumption. You're running on assumptions that more is more. You're running on assumptions that people will just be reaching out to you. You're running on the assumption that one day when you have 1 million followers, you will make money. You're assuming that, I wrote an article that I released yesterday. I was telling, I said content creation versus entrepreneurship. Content creation is not entrepreneurship. It's not.
Oh, yes, I agree with you. I thought somebody had said it's entrepreneurship. I don't know who said, or were you being provocative by saying it's entrepreneurship? Because I was like,
maybe I made a mistake. I asked a question. My question leads people to the answer. So I ask questions that are leading. I know the answer, I know I know the answer, and I know you know the answer, but I want you to declare the answer so that you don't fall prey. So I asked the question in a way that is leading. I said, is entrepreneurship equal to is content creation equal to the question? The question is a mind game. And guess what? Even the answer, when I saw it, is 50-50. 50 people answered yes, 50 people answered no.
I was like, hell no. Hell no. I don't know whether you would consider it like a speed coaching session with the people that you admire, I don't know, in a community. Or I don't know. Because the way you've described it, I see it as, and I agree with the whole thing of we follow so many people. And every day is a new content being thrown at you, a new line, a new point of view. But in terms of this one-on-one exchange, it's invaluable. I love it. In fact, I'll give you an example. There's somebody in South Africa I really follow a lot. His name is Vusi Tembekwayo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until COVID hit, and then he sort of called people to join a book club on LinkedIn. And we joined. And we used to have the same thing that we're having with you right now. And we used to have it like on a Saturday morning for 1 hour. It was amazing, So I totally get what you're saying. I'd love to learn more, to know more about what it entails, and also to see whether there is anybody in the community that also we could have maybe.
Right. So what I'm doing yes, because I've had so many people. So I'll give you backdrops of what's going on for me. I've had so many people ask for more, really, like right, just like what you're saying. So part of the shifts I have done, the reason I have 3 community is that 2 of those community is for my business.
Yes.
The third one is where ministry free, that's where what you just described, that's where it's going to be housed. Okay. Right now, I'm going through some rebranding because that space, that private space, for me, for so long, the way I designed it, because I wasn't ready for what you were talking about now. This is back to, so everything I do, it starts from inside out. It's inside out, because I'm not trying to be anything. I'm not trying to be anything for anybody.
Yes, correct.
I'm trying to be my best self. Okay.
Yes.
So I wasn't ready for a certain type of demand that people were asking for. Okay. So that was the gap. Now I am, and I've built a space for it that is also going through a rebrand. So the reason it's going through a rebrand is because that space was designed for women. So I used to do, like last year, summer, every Wednesday night, women, we would meet and we would do what you just described. We will exchange, right? We have a very intimate exchange on Zoom.
Yes.
But that rebrand now that is going in is going to open it broadly.
Okay.
So that space is it's going to be for what you just described. But the other 2 spaces is back to business development, in terms of teaching people entrepreneurship skills that allows them to commercialize and monetize their work. So I have the Leadership Academy, for the Entrepreneurship and Leadership Academy. And then for the people who want to go international, right? Build international brands, trade with Africa. There's a different network. It's a business to business and a business to government network. So So it's a community where people are doing business with one another.